this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, the old devil rides again, and that is the devil of voter suppression, voter intimidation, and disenfranchisement of a community of Americans. And this time, I'm not talking about Black Americans. Latino voting rights group calls for investigation after Texas authorities search homes. So see, they're back at it again. And I'm just going to assume that this is because Texas keeps threatening to turn blue during election seasons. Texas is red. The Republicans depend on Texas. There's no way a Republican is going to win the White House without Texas. This is the electoral map. California has the largest number of electoral votes. Texas has the next largest. So if the Republicans lost Texas, they would need to make up for it somewhere else. So California, they're not going to get California. They would have to pick off 2 blue states because there's no other state that has 40 votes except California, Florida, and they're going to get Florida. So they can't count states that they're already going to get. They have to get blue states. They would have to get something like New York and Washington State, 2 states that they're definitely not going to get. So they cannot afford to lose Texas. So whatever shenanigans is going on down there, it's got to do with the fact that Republicans can't afford to lose Texas. Austin, Texas, and this comes from the Associated Press, a Latino voting rights group called Monday for a federal investigation after its volunteers said Texas authorities raided their homes and seized phones and computers as part of an investigation by the state's Republican Attorney General into allegations of voter fraud. Okay, so that's the same old playbook they always use. No charges have been filed against any targets of the searches that took place last week in the San Antonio area. Attorney General Ken Paxton previously confirmed his office had conducted searches after a local prosecutor referred to his office allegations of election fraud and vote harvesting during the 2022 election. Some volunteers whose homes were searched, including an 80-year-old woman who told her associates that agents were at her house for 2 hours and took medicine along with her smartphone and watch. She railed outside an attorney general's office in San Antonio against the searches. "We feel like our votes are being suppressed," Roman Palmores, national president of the League of United Latin American Citizens, said Monday. "We're going to get to the bottom of this." Good luck with that. The investigation is part of an election integrity unit that Paxton formed in his office. Paxton's office did not immediately respond to emails seeking comment. The federal Justice Department declined to comment. At least 6 members had their homes searched, Palmores said. They included Manuel Medina, a San Antonio political consultant who claimed his home was searched for several hours while agents seized documents, computers, and cell phones. Medina is the former head of the Bexar County Democratic Party and is working on the campaign of Democratic State House candidate Cecilia Castellano, whose home was also searched. 9 officers also entered the home of volunteer Lydia Martinez, 80, who said she expressed confusion about why they were there. "They sat me down and they started searching all my house, my storeroom, my garage, kitchen, everything," Martinez said, and interrogated her about other members, including Medina. The search warrant ordered officials to search any documents related to the election and to confiscate Martinez's devices. "I'm not doing anything illegal," Martinez said. She told agents, "All I do is help the seniors." Voter fraud is rare, typically occurs in isolated instances, and is generally detected. An Associated Press investigation of the 2020 presidential election found fewer than 475 potential cases of voter fraud out of 25.5 million ballots cast in the 6 states where Trump and his allies disputed his loss to Democratic President Joe Biden. Well, this really is not about trying to find out whether or not any fraud is been committed, or because they've already investigated that. It's already been investigated. This is about intimidating citizens who might vote differently than those officials want them to vote. I've seen this movie before, ever since I was a child. I've seen this, and I'm sad to say that when they pull off one of these things, they usually have just a little something to go on. And I would just say to them, don't be surprised if somebody doesn't end up going to jail, because they are very serious about this, because this is about power. It's about trying to hold on to power, and so it's disenfranchisement in a way. But it's definitely, she called it voter suppression. It's voter suppression, but this is also voter intimidation. It's intimidating when officials come into your house with a warrant to search your house because you're suspected of having committed some kind of crime or fraud. Because voter fraud is against the law. And so, I feel bad for them, but this is how things get done. It'll get resolved one way or the other, but the Justice Department does not move in a rush. And those people in Texas know that. So they will have built a real case. They've already got the case built. When they make a move like that, they've already got something up their sleeve. Now, the Justice Department know how they operate, but the Justice Department has to resolve issues all over the country. Breonna Taylor was killed in 2020, and it took 2 years for the Justice Department to come back with the charges against those police officers, and then those charges were reduced to misdemeanors. So the Justice Department isn't but so reliable when it comes to certain things. But when they start in on you like that, you have to make sure that your everything is clean. You haven't done anything, any small thing that they can call voter fraud. So that's how they play the game sometimes. It's not fair, but you have to be prepared, and you have to always make sure your nose is clean, your hands are clean, and everything in your house is clean. Because if not, they'll make a big deal out of it, and you might end up, if not going to jail, your name will be tarnished. They'll do that too. So when things like this happen, I can't help but reflect on our history. And when things like this have happened to us, people are trying to downplay it or dismiss it and say, oh, you complain too much. That's what they say when it happens to you. But they change their tune when they're the ones that have to call the Justice Department. Anyway, this is what they're doing to the Latinos in Texas. The Latinos recently endorsed Kamala. So that's a sign that the Latinos are moving away from the Republican Party, which is what they've been trying to do up for quite some time. And again, the Republicans cannot afford to lose Texas. So the Attorney General's office made a move. They're just trying to nip it in the bud. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video, and have a good evening.